Hello friends. Welcome back to another video. Today in this video, we are going to talk about the best mirrorless camera in 2021. We picked the best mirrorless cameras for photographers at every level, whether you're just starting or a seasoned pro. We'll divide this video into 3 categories. First one is an all-rounder, second one is cheap and simple, and last but not the least, third one is for professionals. So that you can decide which part you want to check out. Just jump to the description and click on the timeline and you will be able to check out the specific chapter you want to see. So let's get started. The best mirrorless camera to buy will likely be different for everyone. The type of photography or videography you want to do, your experience level, and of course, your budget, all this will affect which camera is right for you. Are you a gadget head who has to have the latest tech? Or are you okay with using a camera from a few years ago if doing so nets you a bargain? We've tried to make sure all users are catered for in our guide to the best mirrorless cameras, and accordingly have split it up into sections. First, let's talk about all-rounders. Who do you think is called all-rounders? All-rounders, for doing a bit of everything. If you're the kind of content creator who might want to do a bit of photography and video in different styles and locations, then these are the cameras that will do it all. They're more affordable than the pro cameras and more advanced than beginner models. The next thing we'll cover in this video is cheap and straightforward. We'd recommend starting here if you're looking to upgrade from smartphone shooting to your first proper camera. These mirrorless cameras won't break your budget and will provide a suitable platform for learning the fundamentals. This type of camera also tends to be light, so this is a good bet if you're looking for a travel model. In the end, we have something for professionals too. The cutting edge of camera technology. Professional mirrorless is where the most exciting developments in imaging are happening, with models like the Canon EOS R5 and Sony A1 redefining what's possible with cameras. Pros need exact tools to do their job, whether that's in stills or video or both, and these cameras deliver that, so long as you select the right one. Along this, let's understand first. Mirrorless camera formats. The 4 main mirrorless camera formats are micro four thirds, APS-C, full frame and medium format. These names refer to their sensor sizes. We listed them in as most minor to largest physical sensor size. Smaller sensor cameras are lighter and more portable. All larger sensor cameras produce higher quality images with better dynamic range. As ever, it's about weighing up your needs and your budget. Here's a little more detail about each format. First one is micro four thirds. It is the smallest sensor format, but that doesn't mean you should count these cameras out. The Panasonic Lumix G100 is explicitly designed for novice vloggers and a great stills camera, while the Olympus OMD EM53 Mark IV is one of our favorite small cameras. The universality of the format also means that cameras and lenses from these two brands can be used interchangeably, which is not the case with other designs. Next, we have APS-C cameras that are popular with enthusiasts, as they provide a good balance between quality and affordability, with a sensor roughly twice the size of the 1 and micro four thirds cameras. It includes mirrorless cameras like the Fujifilm XS10 and the Nikon Z50, which offer good resolution, typically 24 to 26 megapixels, and 4K video features good enough for professional or semi-pro video. After APS-C cameras, we have full-frame cameras that have sensors the same size as 35mm film negatives, which is about twice the size of APS-C. As you might expect, this makes them better quality, but also more extensive and more expensive. However, they aren't out of reach for amateurs and enthusiasts the way they once were, with affordable full-frame options starting to appear on the market. The Canon EOS RP was one of the first affordable and joined by the equally reasonable Nikon Z50 and Panasonic Lumix S5. And at the end, we have medium format cameras that have sensors even more significant than full-frame. They're generally for slightly more specialist applications where you need the pixels, and while they were once prohibitively expensive, these days, we're seeing more affordable, models appearing on the market. This is primarily thanks to Fujifilm and its mirrorless medium format GFX series. We've been seriously impressed by the 100 megapixels Fujifilm GFX 100S, which costs less than a Sony A1. Now that that's all taken care of, let's get to the best mirrorless cameras you can buy right now. First, we'll talk about the cameras, which come under the category all-rounders. If you're an enthusiast looking to upgrade from an older or more basic DSLR, you'll find that the latest mid-range mirrorless models can match or beat the best DSLRs for features and performance. Video has become increasingly important thanks to the rise of influencers and vloggers, and many of the best cameras for vlogging are in this category. The cameras in this section have a broad range of capabilities and can adapt to a wide range of subjects and shooting styles. We have 2 Fujifilm cameras in this group, the Fujifilm XS10 and the Fujifilm XT4, and we almost included a third, the new Fujifilm XE4, with its uncluttered, classically styled rangefinder design. In this category, the first camera we have is Fujifilm XS10. The XS10 has 26 million pixels, 4K video, and in-body stabilization. Quickly let's have a look at the specs of this camera in brief. Specifications. Type, mirrorless. Sensor, APS-C. Megapixels, 26.1. Lens mount, Fujifilm X. Screen, 3-inch vari-angle touchscreen, 1.04 million dots. Viewfinder, EVF, 2,360K dots. Max continuous shooting speed, 30/8 fps. Max video resolution, 4K. User level, intermediate/expert. We have 3 reasons which we think to be considered before buying this. Plus small size and excellent build quality, plus vari-angle touchscreen, plus in-body image stabilization. But we also have a reason for which you may avoid buying this camera. Let's have a look. Conventional mode dial. The Fujifilm XS10 doesn't have the external exposure controls of the higher level X series cameras, but that's the only thing we can find to complain about, and it's clear this is no amateur camera, as its build quality and handling stand out straight away. The swap to a conventional mode dial might disappoint Fujifilm fans, but the excellent finish, build quality and handling, and the inclusion of IBIS, in-body stabilization, gives this camera an extensive appeal, especially in this price sector, to produce perhaps the best combination of performance, quality and value in the APS-C mirrorless camera market right now. It even has a vari-angle rear screen, which is why we rate this new camera above our previous favorite, the XT30. In the category of all-rounders we have the next camera that is from Olympus. Olympus OMD EM53 Mark IV. This pint-sized powerhouse has 30 fps pro capture and more. Let's jump over to specifications in brief. Type, mirrorless. Sensor, MFT. Megapixels, 20.4 megapixels. Lens mount, NFT. Screen, 3-inch vari-angle touchscreen, 1,037,000 dots. Viewfinder, electronic viewfinder. Continuous shooting speed, 30 frames per second, pro capture mode, 10 frames per second, mechanical shutter, max video resolution, C4K/4K. User level, enthusiast/expert. We have 4 reasons to be considered before buying this camera. Plus stunning pro capture mode. Plus exceptional 152 RAW file buffer. Plus size and handling. Plus range of lenses. We also have some reasons to avoid. MFT sensor smaller than APS-C. Only 20.4 MP. The Olympus OMD EM53 is an exceptional and worthy successor to the highly regarded OMD EM5 Mark II. It uses Olympus's latest 20.4 megapixel micro four thirds sensor, and while this might put some people off, these sensors are smaller than APS-C. The image quality is very close to APS-C standards, allows Olympus cameras and lenses to be tiny and portable. There are also plenty of APS-C and full-frame cameras with 20 megapixel sensors. This new camera's unique abilities include excellent 5.5 EV in-body stabilization, a fantastic 30 frames per second pro capture mode with 14-shot pre-buffering, C4K and 4K UHD video, live composite and live bulb modes, and more. No other mirrorless camera has this blend of features, performance, and compactness. In this all-rounder category, the third camera we have is from Fujifilm. Fujifilm XT4. Fujifilm's flagship X series camera is fast and powerful but not cheap. Let's have a quick look on the specifications. Type, mirrorless. Sensor, APS-C. Megapixels, 26.1 megapixels. Lens mount, Fujifilm X mount. Monitor, electronic viewfinder, 3,690K dots, 100% coverage. Continuous shooting speed, 11 frames per second. Viewfinder, electronic viewfinder. Max video resolution, 4K. User level, enthusiast/professional. As you already know, it's impossible that will not give you reasons to buy. We have 3 reasons to buy this camera in 2021. Plus 26.1 megapixel sensor, plus 4K video at 60 fps, plus in-body stabilization. And we also have reasons to avoid. The price matches the performance. There's no sign yet of a replacement for Fujifilm's pro-orientated XH1, so that means the XT4 is now the flagship model in Fujifilm's X-mount camera range. Its predecessor, the XT3, was a tough act to follow, with high-speed continuous shooting, advanced autofocus, and class-leading 4K video capabilities, but the Fujifilm X-T4 takes things up another notch. Practically everything we wanted in the X-T3 is here, including in-body stabilization, a vari-angle touchscreen display, and better battery life. We still want more, of course, including better buffer depth in continuous shooting mode, but that would be the icing on the cake. The X-T4 isn't just a terrific stills camera, of course. It also has cutting-edge 4K video performance, with 60p 10-bit internal recording. It's just a shame Fujifilm dropped the headphone socket. You'll need an adapter now. The only thing stopping this camera from climbing higher in our list is its price, which has stayed high and is only a notch below that of some tremendous full-frame rivals. In this all-rounder category, the fourth camera we have is from Nikon. Nikon Z5. A nicely made and affordable introduction to the Nikon Z range. Let's have a quick look on specifications. Type: mirrorless. Sensor: full-frame CMOS. Megapixels: 24.3 megapixels. Lens mount: Nikon Z. Monitor: 3.2-inch tilting touchscreen, 1,040 dots. Continuous shooting speed: 4.5 frames per second. Viewfinder: EVF, 3,690 dots, 100% coverage, 0.8x magnification. Max video resolution: 4K UHD at 30p. User level: enthusiast. Let's check out some reasons to buy. We have 2 reasons you should consider. Plus good price for full frame. Plus twin card slots. Reasons to avoid. Only 4.5 frames per second burst cropped 4K video. While Nikon has done a solid job filling out the very upper end of its Z range of full-frame mirrorless cameras with the flagship Z72 and even found room for a cheeky APS-C offering with the Z50, it arguably lacked an entry-level gateway to full-frame. That has come in the form of the Nikon Z5, a stylish little shooter that offers full-frame features at an attractive price. It takes a few cues from professional bodies with twin card slots and 4K UHD video, though you won't be burst shooting at anything higher than 4.5 FPS. Still, with full weather sealing, 5-stop image stabilization, and a spectacular electronic viewfinder, anyone making their first jump to full frame is going to find themselves spoiled for features. We like most about this camera's keen pricing, well below the Nikon Z6 II, and its neat retracting kit lens. After Nikon Z5 we have Panasonic Lumix S5 for all-rounders category. This full-frame Lumix shoots 24 megapixel stills and is a powerful video tool. Time for some specifications. Type: mirrorless. Sensor: full-frame CMOS. Megapixels: 24.2 megapixels. Lens mount: L mount. Monitor: 3-inch vari-angle touchscreen, 1.84 meters dots. Continuous shooting speed: 7 frames per second, mechanical shutter, 6K photo mode, 18 megapixels at 30 frames per second. Viewfinder: EVF, 2.36 meters dots. Max video resolution: 4K/60p. User level: enthusiast. We have 2 reasons to be considered before you buy. Plus light and compact. Plus exceptionally good video. But we also have 1 reasons to avoid. Unforgiving Sant mode. Contrast AF only. The original Lumix S1 and S1R are impressive and powerful cameras. But big. Panasonic has taken this on board and somehow, we're still not sure how, came out with the Lumix S5, a camera that offers all the same imaging power as the hefty 24 megapixel Lumix S1, but in a body weighing about 300 grams less. It's also something of a spiritual successor to the video-oriented GH line, with best-in-class video specs. It shoots 4K/60p 10-bit 4:2:0 video, and in terms of dynamic range, on paper, only the pro-level Sony A7S III can lay any claim to matching or beating it. The color science is finely optimized for a beautiful image. Still shooters can also use 6K photo mode for practical 30 FPS burst shooting, ensuring they never miss a moment. As hybrid full-frame cameras go, this will be extremely tough to beat. So far as you have seen, we have considered 5 cameras for all-rounder. The next we have is from Canon, and we call it as Canon EOS RP. Canon's most miniature full-frame camera is cheap but starting to look dated. Let's bring on some specifications for the same. Type: mirrorless. Sensor: full frame. Megapixels: 26.2 megapixels. Lens mount: Canon RF. Screen: 3 inches articulating touchscreen, 1,040,800 dots. Viewfinder: electronic. Max burst speed: 5 frames per second. Max video resolution, 4K. User level, enthusiast. So, what do you think the reasons behind this camera or reasons to buy? We have 3 of them. Plus size and weight plus very competitive pricing plus fully articulating screen. But at the end we also have reasons to avoid. Feels too tiny for its lenses. A few months after announcing the EOS R, Canon came up with this smaller, cheaper EOS RP model. We were a bit lukewarm at first because the specs looked unadventurous, but since then, Canon has steadily built up its RF lens range, and the price of the EOS RP has dropped below that of many APS-C models. We reckon the EOS RP's cute styling, small size, and vari-angle screen make it a great value buy at today's prices. If the EOS R has a lot in common with the Canon EOS 5D Mark IV DSLR, then the EOS RP is like a mirrorless version of Canon's entry-level full-frame EOS 6D Mark II model. With the EOS RP, you get a 26.2 megapixel full-frame sensor, 4779 point dual-pixel CMOS autofocus, 4K video cropped, admittedly, and that functional fully articulating rear screen. The aggressive pricing makes the EOS RP the least expensive full-frame camera on the market that's still a current model, and it's affordable even with its versatile 24-105mm STM kit lens, too. Canon has released an updated all-rounder camera in the form of the EOS R6. However, it's currently sitting pretty at a much higher price than the EOS RP. We're sticking with the EOS RP as our recommendation for now, but that may change as the EOS R6 comes down in price or the EOS RP starts to get harder to find. After Canon EOS RP we have one more camera from Nikon, and that's called as Nikon Z50. The Nikon Z50 is good, but we would like to see more DX lenses. As of now we don't have much from Nikon mirrorless. Time for some specifications. Type, mirrorless. Sensor, APS-C. Megapixels, 20.9 megapixels. Lens mount, Nikon Z. Screen, 3.2-inch tilting touchscreen, 1,040,000 dots. Viewfinder, electronic. Continuous shooting speed, 11 frames per second. Max video resolution, 4K. User level, enthusiast. Have looked on reasons to buy, unfortunately we have only 2. Plus excellent handling experience. Plus 4K video. And 2 for the same reasons to avoid. Unexceptional 300-shot battery. Only 1 card slot. The Nikon Z50 is a terrific little camera at an excellent price, but we think the only thing holding it back right now is the limited range of Nikon ZDX, APS-C, mirrorless lenses. Right now, it's just the 2 it was launched with, though you can use the optional Nikon FTZ adapter to fit Nikon DSLR lenses. Advertisement. The Nikon Z50 was introduced in late 2019, joining Nikon's more advanced full-frame Z6 and Z7 models. The Z50 is far more than just a stripped-back version of these bigger cameras, however. Nikon managed to work a satisfyingly chunky hand grip onto this small frame for a superior handling experience while also including 11 FPS burst shooting for action photography and high-quality 4K video. Best of all is the superb 16-50mm pancake kit lens available as part of the kit, and the price has been specifically tailored to undercut similar offerings from Fujifilm and Olympus. The Z50 is a superb but affordable camera for a wide range of photographers at various skill levels. Happily, the Nikon Z50 is no longer the only DX format Z camera on the block with the introduction of the retro-styled Nikon ZFC. While this excellent shooter couldn't look more different to the Z50, they're the same on the inside. We'll stick with the Z50 as our recommendation here as it's cheaper and sure to remain so, but if you can't resist a camera with retro charm, the Nikon ZFC may end up tempting you. Now, let's jump over to another category. Cheap and simple.
And looking for the best camera for beginners, a mirrorless camera is ideal. It gives you the constant live view you might be used to form a compact camera or a smartphone, often with touchscreen control and sometimes with a flip-over/under screen for selfies. Here are the models which we think are the best mirrorless cameras for anyone just starting. We should also give an honorable mention to the Canon EOS M50, now available in a Canon EOS M50 Mark II version, as a neat little mirrorless camera for Canon fans. The very first camera in this group is from Olympus. Olympus OMD EM10 Mark IV. The EM10 Mark IV is small and cute but powerful and versatile too. Just look at the specifications. Type, mirrorless. Sensor, micro 4/3. Megapixels, 20.3. Lens mount, MFT. Screen, 3-inch 180-degree tilting touchscreen, 1,037K dots. Viewfinder, electronic viewfinder, 2,360K dots. Max shooting speed, 8.7 frames per second. Max video resolution, 4K UHD user level, beginner/intermediate. We have 2 reasons to buy and 2 to avoid to. Plus latest 20MP sensor. Plus 5-axis in-body stabilization. Reasons to avoid. MFT sensor smaller than APS-C. Plastic build. With a new 20-megapixel sensor, incrementally improved in-body image stabilization, and a new flip-down and tiltable monitor, the Olympus OMD EM53 Mark IV has plenty to shout about. Retaining the 4K video and attractive styling that made the Mark III so attractive to consumers, the Mark IV is an ideal choice for anyone looking for an entry-level camera that can do pretty much everything. The EM10 series has long consisted of our favorite pint-sized cameras ever, so we're pleased that the Mark IV at last got Olympus's latest 20-megapixel sensor. It's not the cheapest mirrorless camera, but it's small, user-friendly, and so much more powerful than it looks. After Olympus we have our next camera from Panasonic Lumix. And we call it as Panasonic Lumix G100. The Lumix G100 is designed for vloggers but shoots great stills too. Check out some specifications for the same. Type, mirrorless. Sensor, micro 4/3. Megapixels, 20.3. Lens mount, MFT. Screen, 3-inch vari angle, 1,840K dots. Viewfinder, EVF, 3.69 meters dots. Max continuous shooting speed, 10 frames per second. Max video resolution, 4K UHD user level, beginner/enthusiast. Now we have 3 reasons to buy and 2 to avoid. Reasons to buy. Plus quality video and stills. Plus audio recording capabilities. Plus bright EVF and articulated LCD. Reasons to avoid. No in-body stabilization. No headphone jack or USB-C. People don't just shoot stills anymore. For many of us, video is just as important as still images, if not more so, and it's these vloggers and content creators that the Lumix G100 is aimed at. It makes it easy to capture high-quality video and stills with its approachable button layout. Even people uninterested in the technicalities of capturing great-looking videos will be able to get results with this camera. There's an inherent risk of dumbing things down too much when creating a camera for social media creatives, but Panasonic has avoided that pitfall with the Lumix G100. By giving it a decent viewfinder and proper camera ergonomics, Panasonic has given the G100 an edge in a highly competitive market. This is a great camera to start with if you're more interested in vlogging than regular photography, and a useful step up from the GX8085 both on resolution and video features. Once again we have another camera from Panasonic itself. We call it as Panasonic Lumix GX80 GX85. This little Lumix is long in the tooth now, but so small and affordable. Ready for specifications. Type, mirrorless. Sensor, micro 4/3. Megapixels, 16 megapixels. Lens mount, micro 4/3. Screen, 3 inches tilting, touchscreen, 1,040,000 dots. Max burst speed, 8 frames per second. Max video resolution, 4K. User level, beginner. We have some reasons to buy and some to avoid as well. Plus 4K video recording. Plus electronic viewfinder. Reasons to avoid. Only 16 megapixels restricted tilt. Screen range. The diminutive GX85, GX80 outside North America, has been around for a while now, but its combination of small size and affordable price makes it a perennial favorite. The GX85 is easy for novices but has a surprising number of more advanced features for enthusiasts. The built-in electronic viewfinder makes it a great option for harsh sunlight or darker conditions, while the tilting screen makes it easy to shoot from ground level. With Panasonic's tiny micro 4/3 lenses, this makes it a great choice for traveling or holidays. Try to get the GX85 with the retracting 12 to 32mm pancake lens. This combination is not much bigger than a compact point-and-shoots camera. The next camera is from Fujifilm XT200. The XT200 blends style, simplicity, and versatility for stills and video. Quick specifications. Type: mirrorless. Sensor: APS-C. Megapixels: 24.2 megapixels. Lens mount: Fujifilm X. Screen: 3.5 inches vari-angle touchscreen, 2,760K dots. Viewfinder: EVF, 2,360K dots. Max continuous shooting speed, 8 frames per second. Max video resolution, 4K. User level, beginner/intermediate. 3 reasons to buy. Plus big 3.5-inch vari-angle touchscreen. Plus good 4K video features. Plus neat design, and now even lighter. 2 reasons to avoid. Simplified external controls. Regular CMOS, not X-trans sensor. The Fujifilm XT200 slots just below Fujifilm's premium X-mount mirrorless cameras but delivers a lot of style, features, and performance for its price point, which has dropped a lot since it was first launched. The XT200 is light and compact but looks and feels handles like an old-school 35mm SLR camera. Best of all, it has a giant new 3.5-inch vari-angle touchscreen with twice the resolution of most rivals and a 1:6 aspect ratio perfectly suited to video. It also has an electronic viewfinder and can shoot 4K video as well as 24-megapixel stills. Its 15 to 45mm kit lens is electrically powered and is a bit of an acquired taste, but it's compact for an APS-C kit lens, and it also offers a much wider angle of view than most kit lenses, making it ideal for interior shots and significant landmarks. Note: this is a mega popular camera, so it does tend to go out of stock from time to time and has held its price a little more robustly than cameras tend to. And we have the last in this category. And the only from the brand Sony. We have Sony A6000. There are many newer A6000 series cameras, but we still rate this one. Let's check out why. Have a look on the specifications. Type: mirrorless. Sensor: APS-C. Megapixels: 24.3 megapixels. Lens mount: Sony E. Monitor: 3-inch tilting, 921,600 dots. Continuous shooting speed, 11 frames per second. Viewfinder: electronic. Max video resolution, 1080p. User level, beginner/enthusiast. Reasons to buy. Plus superb AF system. Plus 11 FPS burst shooting with CAF. Reasons to avoid. No 4K video. No touchscreen. It may have been launched way back in 2014 and upstaged by the Sony A6100, A6400, and A6600 since then, but the much less expensive Sony A6000 represents an excellent entry point into the world mirrorless photography. With a capable autofocus system that blends 179 phase detect AF points and 25 contrast detect points, together with 11 frames per second burst shooting with focus tracking, the camera is a perfect option for anyone shooting action, although the 24MP APS-C sensor, a high-resolution OLED viewfinder, tilting LCD screen and both Wi-Fi and NFC means that it holds masses of appeal for those shooting in other genres. You don't get 4K video capability or Sony's latest high-tech IAF subject tracking technologies, but if your main interest is stills photography, this is a severe enthusiast camera at a low beginner camera price. The only reason it's this far down our list right now is that prices have been climbing, and some of this older camera's appeal has been lost as a result.
So, that's all for this category. Now let's jump over to professional category. Some of the best professional cameras are now mirrorless, too, and the groundbreaking Sony A9 II has certainly impressed professional sports and action photographers. For example, while the 61MP Sony A7R 4 sets new standards for resolution, the latest video features mean that some of the cameras in this category are suitable for full-scale video production, too, and the Canon EOS R5 redefined the video capabilities of mirrorless cameras. The first camera in this category is from Sony A1. The A1 is mighty but also incredibly expensive. Wanna check out some specifications? Let's go. Type: mirrorless. Sensor: full frame. Megapixels: 50.1 NP. Lens mount: Sony A. Screen: 3-inch tilting, 1.44 meters dots. Viewfinder: electronic, 9.44 meters dots. Max burst speed: 30 frames per second. Max video resolution: 8K. User level: professional. 3 reasons to buy: plus 50 MP resolution, plus 8K video, plus 30 FPS continuous shooting. Reasons to avoid: stratospheric price. The Sony A1 is everything that Sony says it is. It's a technological triumph, a camera that really can do everything. Previously, cameras might offer speed, resolution, or video capability, but the A1 offers all three and even beats dedicated sports and video cameras at their own game. However, good as it is, the price is and will remain a significant obstacle, and its appeal is limited to photographers who need everything it does, not just one or two of those things. Sony has also practically killed 2 of its other cameras by making this one. The Sony A9 Mark II is a terrific camera for sports, but beaten by the A1, while the Sony A7R Mark III's excellent 4K video capabilities pale against the A1's 8K capture. After Sony A1 we have our next camera from Canon. Canon EOS R5. This camera stunned us when it came out, and we're still stunned. Specifications please. Type: mirrorless. Sensor: full frame. Megapixels: 45. Lens mount: Canon RF. Monitor: 3.15-inch vari-angle touchscreen, 2,100K dots. Viewfinder: old EVF, 5,690K dots, 100% coverage, 0.76x magnification. Max continuous shooting speed: 12 frames per second mechanical shutter, 20 frames per second electronic shutter. Max video resolution: 8K. User level: professional. We have 3 reasons to buy and 2 to avoid. Reasons to buy: plus best AF on the market, plus best full frame IBIS, plus 8K video is astounding. Reasons to avoid: video recording limitations. Standard 4K is just okay. As a stills camera, the Canon EOS 5 South African rand is simply Canon's most acceptable product ever. It's the perfect amalgamation of the EOS R's form, the EOS 5D's function, and the professional-grade autofocus of the EOS 1DX. If you're a still or hybrid shooter who flits between photography and videography, it's one of the best cameras you will ever have the pleasure of using. Alas, we can't recommend the R5 if your primary interest is pure video shooting. Don't get us wrong, its video is incredible, but having to navigate the overheating restrictions prohibits it from being your A camera, unless you only shoot 4K 30p, in which case you don't need this anyway. It's not perfect at everything, but it's so good at so much that it's still a landmark camera. The Sony A1 sneaks ahead on specifications, but the Canon is a lot cheaper. Once again we have one more camera from Sony. Sony A7R Mark IV. 61MP resolution, 4K video, 10 FPS shooting, and realistically priced. Check out some specifications. Type: mirrorless. Sensor: full frame CMOS. Megapixels: 61 megapixels. Lens mount: Sony A. Screen: 3-inch tilting touchscreen, 14,40,000 dots. Viewfinder: electronic, 5.76 meters dots. Continuous shooting speed: 10 frames per second. Max video resolution: 4K. User level: professional. Reasons to buy: plus 61 megapixel resolution, plus 10 FPS continuous shooting, plus advanced IAF. Reasons to avoid: unbalanced with bigger lenses. Quite expensive. The R models in Sony's A7 series cameras are designed first and foremost for resolution, and the Sony A7R Mark IV certainly delivers. The previous A7R Mark III set the standard for a time but has recently been overtaken, by a small margin, by the Nikon Z7 and Panasonic Lumix S1R. The A7R puts that right, and how? With a record-breaking 61-megapixel sensor that has the highest resolution of any full-frame camera. The detail rendition is spectacular, though perhaps not quite as apparent as the raw numbers might suggest, and Sony's control layout is now starting to feel dated and complicated compared to what Nikon and Panasonic have done with their new models. Nevertheless, with its superb IAF, 10 fps continuous shooting, yes, with 61MP and 4K video, the Sony A7R Mark IV is now the high-resolution professional camera to beat. For a while, it looked like the best mirrorless camera so far, though the hyper-expensive Sony A1 has stolen that crown now. Finally, we have something from Nikon. Nikon Z72. The Z72 combines resolution, speed, and 4K video but feels a little safe. Specifications: type, mirrorless. Sensor, full-frame CMOS. Megapixels, 45.7 megapixels. Monitor, 3.2-inch tilting touchscreen, 2,100K dots. Continuous shooting speed, 10 frames per second. Viewfinder, EVF, 3,690K dots, 100% coverage. Max video resolution, uncropped 4K UHD up to 30p, cropped 4K UHD up to 60p. User level, enthusiast/professional. 4 reasons to buy. Plus excellent image quality. Plus lovely handling. Plus 5-axis image stabilization system. Plus best-in-class build quality. Reasons to avoid. Electronic viewfinder resolution lower than rivals. Tilt angle display, not vari-angle. The Z72 is Nikon's flagship full-frame mirrorless camera. All the changes we've seen on the Z72 compared to the original Z7 are undoubtedly welcome, but we can't help feeling that Nikon's played it a bit safe. We'd like to have seen even more of a jump to make it a severe threat to the likes of the Canon EOS R5 and Alpha A7R IV. But still, the Nikon Z72 has a lot going for it. It might not have a standout feature that sets it apart from its competitors, but the Nikon Z72 delivers solidly across the board and is an excellent mirrorless camera. For example, Nikon's changes, dual processors and dual memory card slots have made a great camera even better. After Nikon Z72 we have Panasonic Lumix S1R. The Lumix S1R is a great camera but overshadowed by the R5 and A1. Specifications: type, mirrorless. Sensor, full frame. Megapixels, 47.3 megapixels. Screen, 3.2-inch, 2,100K. Viewfinder, electronic, 5,760K. Lens, L-mount. Continuous shooting speed, 9 frames per second. Max video resolution, 4K. User level, expert/professional. Reasons to buy: plus huge resolution, plus excellent build and controls, plus high-end 4K video. Reasons to avoid: heavy and expensive. If you need top-quality stills photography, the Lumix S1R is worth the extra over the Lumix S1. It costs substantially more, but it has almost twice the resolution. Both are pretty big, hefty cameras, though, and the same goes for the L-mount lenses we've seen so far from Panasonic and Sigma, also part of the new L-mount alliance, along with Leica. If you need to travel light and shoot stills and video equally, the smaller format Lumix GH5 or Lumix G9 models, above, might be a better choice. A firmware update in November 2019 has made this camera's XQD memory card slot compatible with the latest Express memory cards, so Panasonic is ahead of the curve here. If you're more of a video shooter, then it may be worth looking at the Panasonic Lumix S1H, which has wowed the pro video world with its 6K video capture. It's no slouch on stills either, with 24 megapixels of resolution to play with. Finally, we are at the end of this video with the last camera in this category from Fujifilm GFX 100s. A stunning combination of price, quality, and usability. Specifications: sensor, medium format, megapixels, 102 megapixels. Lens mount, Fujifilm GF. LCD, 3.2-inch 2-axis tilt touchscreen, 2.36 million dots. Viewfinder, 0.5-inch 3.69 million dot electronic viewfinder, 0.8x magnification. Max continuous shooting speed, 5 frames per second. Max video resolution, 4K at 30 frames per second. User level, professional. Reasons to buy: plus superb quality, plus in a portable body, plus for a great price. Reasons to avoid: heavy to lift, image stabilization limited. Refining a formula that has worked exceptionally well for Fujifilm, the GFX 100s continues to bring the medium format to the masses by packing a big sensor into a comparatively small body. On the outside, there's not a lot to distinguish the Fujifilm GFX 100s from a full-frame mirrorless camera. But on the inside, it's a different story, with a 102 megapixels BSI CMOS 43.8 by 32. 9mm medium format sensor running the show. The level of detail captured by the camera is simply incredible, as is the dynamic range, and all these pairs are beautiful with improved autofocus and in-body image stabilization. The IBIS isn't quite good enough for on-the-go vlogging or shooting handheld at 1/8 of a second, but it's still awe-inspiring. This is smaller, lighter, and cheaper than any other camera offering 100MP right now. The Fujifilm GFX 100s is an outstanding achievement. So that's it for today's video. I hope you liked this content. If you did, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon as well. I will see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.